Hi everyone, welcome to MCTV. As you're fully aware, I am not Matt. I'm Derek, one of the guys who's usually behind the camera during these MCTV episodes. So Matt told you last time we're going to change up the format a little bit. We want to make these episodes more informative, more conversational, and sound a little less like traditional CEO chatter. So here we go. Hey Matt, how are you?
Hey, how are you, Derek?
Good to see you.
You
So let's start by talking about your role. You've been in this job for about a year now.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Great. I'm so happy to be back in New Brunswick. You know, one of my dreams being a paramedic growing up in New Brunswick was to come back here and be the president of this organization. So it's been a really busy year, but I couldn't be happier to be back.
So what are some of the things you've learned in the first year?
Sure. I think one of the biggest things that I've learned is when I was away, I knew morale was an issue in the organization. You know, got lots of friends that are paramedics and heard lots. And one of the things I think that was probably most surprising is how much of an effort we've put into morale and how little it's improved. But I do feel like we've made a lot of progress over the last little bit. And I feel like with the plan coming next year, we've got a lot of work ahead of us, but I think we're going to be able to move the yardstick.
Specifically on morale, where do you think it's at? And are you able to tell us a little bit about maybe what your ideas are for the next year?
I think morale is still not where I'd like to see it. I mean, my goal is for everyone to come to work as an employee and be really happy and you know, love what they do. And for the most part, I think everyone does love the profession and they love caring for patients and you know, really want to do a good job. I think where we differ a little bit is they're still not fully trusting of the organization. And I'll admit, over the year, we've made some mistakes since I've been here, and we're trying to learn from that and correct that as we go forward. So I'm really hoping that as we move on, people will learn to trust us a little bit more and kind of give us the benefit of the doubt and realize, you know, we're human, we make mistakes, but our goal is to try and improve things.
When you started, I remember one of the first episodes we did, you had a list of things. There are some of those that are done, some of those that aren't done.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about some of the things you're able to successfully,
Sure.
in your opinion.
So a lot of the stuff we wanted to do was reorg. So we did the reorg and we're kind of moved into phase 2 where we're going to move folks around over time to make sure that they're in the right roles and also to kind of develop the organization. Bilingualism, as you know, I think that's been one of the biggest factors that has hurt our morale. We've been working with the government and the union and different stakeholders to try and come to an agreement where we're able to administer and deliver bilingual service across the province, but also not negatively impact our paramedics. And that's a tough one because you know the challenges around us to being able to deliver bilingual care universally across the province. Some of the other ones that we really worked on is engagement. So we recently met with all of our OMs after the survey that came out. The results were really, really good. They gave us a lot of good information. We met one-on-one with every single operations manager, looked at their individual scores, worked out a plan on how we're going to improve them. And collectively as a group, we kind of worked together to try and put together something that we're going to be able to implement in the coming months. And I've heard from a few paramedics already that they've noticed a difference in how some of their OMs have interacted and how they've dealt with them, and I think that's important. We're here to kind of deliver a service, all of us, including myself. We're here to support our frontline employees, and I think it's important that we kind of do that on a daily basis. So.
The OM survey specifically, are you going to be sharing the results of that?
We are. So we're actually just putting together a global kind of a overview of the overall survey. One of the things we've said to the OMs, and I think it's fair and respectful, is that we're not going to share the individual results outside of the specific OM. And we did that purposely because I want to give people a chance to see where they are and where they fit in the score and give them a chance to improve that. We're going to repeat the survey as we go on, and we'll be able to hopefully be able to move the yardstick. But globally, we are going to share the results, how we did as an organization.
Sure. Let's switch gears.
Yeah.
The recent extramural announcement from government sort of took everyone by surprise.
Yeah.
And what we know right now is basically nothing. Can you tell anybody of the employees what's going on?
Sure. So very exciting time. Obviously, it was something we couldn't talk about openly, and you know it's been a lot of work at the MetaVMS level. So right now we've got a signed MOU, which is a memorandum of understanding to talk to the government and both Horizon and Vitalite about us potentially managing the extramural program as well as telehealth 811, and that's where we're in right now. We're in the planning phases, and hopefully in the coming months we'll be able to kind of work something out. And I think it'll be a benefit to everyone, not just Ambulance New Brunswick, but extramural and 811 as well, and also more importantly the New Brunswickers.
So can you tell us anything about how it's going to affect the employees?
Yeah, so I think you guys know that since I've been here, one of my goals has always been to expand the careers of paramedics and also all of our staff to be able to administer different lines of care, whether it be through transfers or community paramedicine or advanced care paramedics. We don't know exactly how it's going to look yet in the program, but one would think that a lot of those components would be implemented and possibly in scope as well.
Sure. So year number 2, what's your goals?
Yeah, so year number 2, engagement's still top of the list. A happy workforce, both on NBMS and A&B, is top of mind. Without a happy workforce, we're not going to be able to achieve, we're not going to be able to kind of move forward. I think that's number 1. That's been my main priority going forward. As an organization too, I think it's also that we grow and develop. So we're a mature organization now, 8-9 years. I know I've only been here for 1, but it's been really important for us to grow. So we need to look at how we deliver care. Are there different ways that we can do that? Community paramedicine, non-emergency transfers, these are things, ACPs that we talked about last year. This year I hope is the year that we actually put action on that.
So let's end, is there anything coming up on the horizon? Big changes for the employees? Anything you want to share with them?
So we're getting ready to work on our radio project, TMR, as you guys know, which will be really good. We've been kind of working on that for a while. That'll start to be implemented. We're doing some of the behind the scenes right now, work on that. We've got to do some work on our different infrastructure and equipment and stuff. That'll be hopefully rolled out. As you know, we've got a fall in service coming up, and there's some great things there that we're going to be able to work to. One of the other things that I think is going to be really important is we're looking at a mental health program that we're going to roll out to all staff. We don't know exactly when we're going to roll that out, but it's called Road to Mental Readiness, and we're looking to roll it out, and it's going to be an in-service training session where we're going to talk to our staff and hopefully give them some good tools to be able to deal with some of the stress. Again, it's important to keep our staff healthy and be able to cope with some of the stuff that they see.
Great. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you, Derek, as always.
Okay. So, Matt, a couple questions for you.
Sure.
From Luke Hache in the north. First question is about fatigue policy. He's asking if you're working on any sort of fatigue policy for New Brunswick where you worked in one in PEI. Do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, good question, actually, Derek, and Luke, I should say. We are working on a fatigue policy, so right now it's in draft form. It's going to go to the union. They're going to review it, and then hopefully we'll be able to release that in the next few months.
Great, thanks. Another question about policy. Are you aware about policies when they're coming out to the field and policy revisions specifically, or do you basically assign them to some people and then let it fall on their desk?
Sure. So depending what the policy is, if it's a brand new policy and it's created, obviously I'm aware of it. We do have a policy review committee, which is made up of representatives, paramedics, dispatchers, flight nurses, and management staff. That's kind of what we use as the forum to make sure that the changes we make are appropriate. Obviously, senior management signs off, but that's really the driver of the policy, I guess, is the committee, because that's the voice of the organization, not just one individual.
Great, thanks.
No problem. Hey Yvonne, I got a question from MCTV. It's from Raymond Strobridge. Raymond says, can you allow us to have more uniform choices like in Nova Scotia? An example, EHS paramedics can wear windbreaker shirts or vests.
I know we checked with our vendors, and at that time it wasn't possible. But let me check with Nova Scotia exactly what they have in play, and we'll look at the possibility and basically get back to you on that one. If there's any change in the uniform, we'd need to be in agreement with QP because it's part of the collective agreement. But I see no problem looking at the situation again and coming back with an answer.
That's great. I know it's come up in a few times when I talk to staff. I get a lot of questions about wind pants and rain pants and winter pants. So maybe if there is an opportunity, maybe that's something they could look towards as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're open to looking at it, and if it's feasible, I see no problem.
Great. Thanks, Yvonne.
Okay,
appreciate it.
La prochaine question, ça vient de Bruno Douaron de la péninsule acadienne. Bruno nous demande pourquoi y a-t-il une limite de seulement 20 km au-dessus de la limite pour les appels code 1? Ils disent que dans les régions rurales, plus que 90% du trafic régulier roule plus ou moins 20 km de plus que la limite. So, ils trouvent que c'est encore plus dangereux pour les autres voitures car souvent, ils nous dépassent ou se forment une file derrière nous. C'est quoi la réponse à cette question-là? Pourquoi ça existe-t-il?
Très bonne question, Bruno. Et puis, je pense que si quand on regarde un peu dans l'historique des services d'ambulance avec les services de main-de-vie, c'est une politique qui a été mise en place plusieurs années passées pour justement assurer la sécurité de nos conducteurs. Si on regarde aux collisions, on a eu plusieurs collisions dans le passé sur les autoroutes, ces choses-là. Et puis, au point de vue de dommages aux véhicules, aussi de blessures aux patients et aux ambulanciers, on a beaucoup moins de blessures, les dommages sont beaucoup moins élevés lorsque les vitesses sont moins élevées. Et puis, dans les dernières 7 années, depuis qu'on a cette politique-là en place, on n'a eu aucun rapport jusqu'à présent qui nous confirme que conduire 20 km au-dessus de la limite permise comparée à 30 ou 40, comme c'était fait avant, a des répercussions négatives sur le patient. Alors, au bout de ligne, c'est pour garder justement nos ambulanciers, Bruno, vous et les autres ambulanciers, et les patients plus sécuritaires lors de nos transports.